When Tom's birthday party is a complete disaster, his 12-year-old sister Amy can't resist the opportunity to tease him. But when her world is turned upside down, she's forced to confront the consequences of her behaviour. With twists and turns that will keep you hooked, this story explores the power of empathy and the importance of treating others with kindness. Tom was eagerly looking forward to his 10th birthday party for weeks. He and his mum planned out the decorations, the games and the snacks. He had even written out the names of all his classmates on his invitation cards, making sure not to miss anyone. But when the day finally arrived, no one showed up. Tom was crushed. He tried to keep a brave face, but he was totally devastated. His mum tried to console him, but the pain of rejection was too much to bear. Amy, Tom's older sister, saw the hurt in Tom's eyes and couldn't resist the opportunity to taunt him. She called him a geek and a loser and rubbed it in that he had no friends. Tom tried to ignore her, but the words stung like 1,000 needles. Amy had always been popular, but she wasn't always kind to her friends. She enjoyed the power that came with being Queen Bee and often made fun of others, spreading rumours and excluding people from her group. Her sharp tongue and icy demeanour left many in tears. When Amy's own birthday rolled around a month later, her mum decided to teach her a lesson. She went and paid all of Amy's friends to not turn up to Amy's party. But there was a catch. If any of them told Amy the truth, they would have to give the money back. Just like Tom, Amy was so excited on the day of her birthday. She spent hours making sure everything was perfect. She yelled at Tom and said, "You can be there to blow out the candles, but then get lost." This day reminded Tom of his own devastating birthday, but he tried to be happy for her. Amy was really happy that morning. Her mum and Tom gave her presents and she asked them to give her space as it was time for her friends to arrive. When the time came and went, she yelled out to her mum, "Surely they all can't be late." Then once 2 hours went by, it dawned on her, just like her brother, no one turned up. She was devastated. She couldn't believe that they would all bail out on her like that. She was so confused and hurt. She went to her mum for comfort. Tom came over to give her a hug, to say how sorry he is that no one turned up. He said, "I know how you feel." Her mum didn't reveal what she had done. Instead, she suggested that Amy think about how Tom must have felt when no one came to his party. She finally realised how terrible it must have been for her brother and how thoughtless and cruel she had been to him. She felt a heavy weight of guilt and shame settle on her shoulders, knowing that she had hurt him deeply. But she couldn't help feeling sorry for herself. She felt humiliated. She also knew that she needed to make amends. Her mum helped her by coming up with a plan. Amy had to write a list of all the kids she had been mean to and apologise to each and every one of them. As she went through the list of people she had treated badly over the years, she felt a deep sense of regret and sadness. She had never stopped to consider the impact of her words and actions on others. Never thought about how they might feel when she teased them or made fun of them. Now faced with the reality of her own loneliness and isolation, she couldn't help but emphasize with those she had hurt. It was a hard lesson to learn, but one that Amy knew she needed to take to heart. She spent hours writing out apologies to each and every person she had wronged, pouring her heart out onto the page. She didn't know if they would accept her apologies, but she knew she had to try, for her own sake as well as theirs. Little did she know there was a twist in store for her, one that would shake her to her very core. It was a difficult and humbling experience. Amy had to confront the kids she hurt and apologize for her words and actions. Some were forgiving, others were still hurt and skeptical, but Amy persevered, determined to make things right. However, just as Amy was starting to make progress and make amends with those she had hurt, a shocking twist emerged. One of Amy's former targets, a quiet boy named Adam, revealed that he had overheard Amy's mum paying for her friends to cancel plans for her birthday. He even recorded the conversation as proof. Amy was devastated when she found out the truth. She felt like the ground had given way beneath her feet. She was humiliated that everyone knew what had happened. And yet, even as she felt the sting of betrayal, there was also a sense of relief. Now she knew why no one had come to her party. It wasn't because of her, but because of her mother's actions. It was a small comfort, but one that she clung to in the midst of her confusion and pain. As she sat there staring at the rest of the list of apologies she had written, Amy couldn't help but wonder, why had her mother done this? It didn't make sense. And as she confronted her mother, she was surprised to find her mother beaming with pride. "I'm so proud of you, Amy," her mother said. "You've shown so much maturity and growth throughout all of this." Amy was taken back. But why did you pay my friends not to come to my party?" she asked, unable to keep the confusion and hurt out of her voice. Her mother smiled sadly. "I didn't want you to know the real reason no one came," she said. "I wanted you to feel like what everyone else did. The pain of being rejected, the pain of being alone, the pain of being teased and bullied. But now you've gone through this process, I hope you can see just how better it is to take responsibility for your actions and make things right." Amy felt a mix of emotions: relief, confusion, anger, and hurt. She still didn't understand why her mother had done what she had done, but she could see the value in the lessons she had learned. And as she looked back over the list of apologies she had written, she knew she had a lot more work to do, both in making things right with the people she had hurt and in trying to come to terms with this new reality. In the end, the experience brought the family closer together and helped Amy learn the importance of empathy and kindness. She promised to try to be a better person and treat others with more respect. And Tom learnt that even when things don't go to plan, he has a loving family that will always be there for him. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and click the like button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.